Hey, everybody, it's Dave Cooper, davecooper.live, and we are here today actually, we had a really, really great day from the Housing Innovation Alliance Staycation event, which has been absolutely amazing all day long. And with me right now is Brett Goyne from Hammer. What's up, Brett?
How you doing, Dave? Thanks for having me.
Doing great. So, I mean, come on, man. How much fun was today?
I was very, very impressed with the turnout today. The whole setup, how much they educated us before the event. It was actually a lot more streamlined than I was initially anticipating. Right. You know, being a moderator and everything, it was actually a lot easier than I expected.
Yeah, well, that's awesome. That means you kind of knew your stuff and you fit right in. Give everybody a little bit of background of who you are and what you do, Brett.
Sure. Obviously, I'm Brett Goyne. Very short background on me. I grew up in the construction industry, working with my father, doing drywall. Started pretty much the age of 5 when I started out with a broom, and then eventually got the promotion to scrapping drywall and everything. After college, I moved more into the digital media and social media world around the construction industry. And over the last couple of years, built the largest building-related community online. And then most recently, co-founded a company called Hammer, which is a professional network for the next generation of trades, and we aim to empower them in a professional network.
Right. So let's talk a little bit about today's events and get into, if you were to give me, and here's some questions on screen to make it easy for everybody, what are your top 3 to 5 takeaways of today's event?
Yeah, I had a lot of notes, and so I boiled it down to the top 3 takeaways. First and foremost, since my background is mainly in the field and around labor and everything, first and foremost, one of my favorite takeaways was empowering people in the field. And that really means investing in technology that is attractive, that recruits the next generation, and really provides a utility in their job. I mean, we talked about this in our breakout session about investing in the technology. If that means actually going and partnering with these providers to actually get devices in people's hands so that it can help alleviate the pain points and the barriers to actually streamline innovation in these businesses. The second one that I really enjoyed chatting with everybody about is campaigning. I think there's 2 sides of the spectrum. There's anti-debt, and then there's anti-college. And what we really chatted about was leveling the playing field and going for a message that's more anti-debt. Instead, if we go to market with an anti-college, we're seeing trades as less than as a career and as a post-secondary choice of college or education or career path. And so a lot of what we chatted about was marketing the trades as anti-debt versus anti-college. And that really means getting more buy-in from policy, associations, funding, and then funneling that to where it can drive forward with parents, counselors, and the schooling system. And then my third one is a very, very simple one, but it's extreme simplification. And that's on the home packaging and option plans for these production builders, regional builders, so on and so forth. Given the COVID environment and everything, these options are going to change, and making it extremely easy for people like they're going to purchase a car. Same with a house. These are the options, and adjusting that. And I think, with overall design changes, given the current environment, that means leveraging platforms like virtual design platforms. Maybe it's VR environments so people can go in there and they feel comfortable choosing what kind of products to integrate into their home, and really simplifying that experience for them.
Yeah, sure. So what do you in kind of this think tank environment, today, and having all these panel discussions, like you said, you were a moderator of one of them. What did you think about the people that were surrounding you? And there was a ton of really smart people here. Yeah.
I typically like these events in person. However, I think the caliber of people that actually turned out, there were so many rapid ideas flowing. And I think that was my favorite part of it. Is usually these types of seminars, I would like to be in person.
Yeah.
However, given the people and how it was put together, I mean, this is a very buzzy word, but it was conversations and ideas at scale. And I think that was really, really helpful.
Yeah, perfect. I couldn't have said it better. I love it. Caliber. That's the word I was looking for. All right, next question. What are your favorite moments from the day?
Oh, man. Favorite moments from the day. Again, I think it's going back to the people. It was pretty refreshing to hear how optimistic everybody is given the current environment. Now, it's not an optimism of, hey, everything's going to blow over in the next couple of days. A lot of the people that were on the panel and just people engaging in the Q&A sessions and everything, I think the word that I would describe it is slingshot. I think a lot of people are seeing this as a slingshot recalibration of what we're doing in the industry to put us on the right trajectory. So that was my favorite part, is being around those people.
Love it. Love it. All right. Last question. What is one takeaway from today's event that you can implement tomorrow? And heck, why wait for tomorrow? Implement it right now.
Today. I'm going to start. I actually have two, and I'll just touch on the first one really quickly. Digital tools, meeting your customers or trades where they're at. And that's absolutely online. I don't think we're in an environment where we need to question if these tools are applicable. Like, that's a question that should have happened 5 years ago. And so really taking advantage of those and meeting people where we're at. And my very favorite one was from Rebecca with Garmin Homes. And she said, reach out. It's so simple, but reach out. And that means to your customers and your trades. What do they need? How can they adapt? And how can you help them get there? So that was ultimately my favorite takeaway.
I love it. I love it. Would you do it again?
Absolutely.
Yeah. Well, Breck, thanks so much for taking a few minutes and giving us a little bit of a wrap up on what you felt from the events today. I really do appreciate it. We have a couple of people in the holding tank, so I got to move on to them so we keep everybody moving along. But Breck, it was a pleasure meeting you today. Thanks so much for everything that you did. And, you did an excellent job moderating. I couldn't have done it better. No way.
Awesome, Dave. Well, I appreciate the opportunity, and thanks for having me.
Thank you. Thank you. All right. Now we're going to bring in Elena Moni. Whoop, I got the wrong name up there. Still, Elena Moni Garmin, founder and CEO of Garmin Homes and Fresh Paint by Garmin Homes. I mean, it kind of says it all right there, Elena. Tell us a little bit about what you do and about Garmin Homes. Uh-oh, I think Elena froze up. Let's see if we can get her to come back in. All right, we're going to jump on. Dan, are you with me, Dan?
I am.
Good. So, Elena, if you're listening, we're going to bring you back in. So we're just going to switch this around. We're flexible like this. Dan Goldstein, contract sales, GE Appliance, and do I say it right? Is it hair company?
It's a hire company.
A hire company. Love it. So, Dan, tell me, tell us a little bit about yourself. What's your background? What brought you to the event, the staycation today?
Yeah, so I've been with GE Appliances for 21 years. In January of this year, I became the vice president of sales for our builder channel at GE Appliances, and was really excited. And all of a sudden, mid-March came and things changed in a very dynamic way that there was no training manual to prepare and get ready for this. But
Sure.
I've been with GE for 21 years in a variety of roles, in sales and marketing roles. And, just love this industry, love our business. And, and I'm back on the builder side of the business. I spent some time on the retail, and it's just really great to be back on the builder side of the business.
Right. So the event today, what did you think of it?
I thought it was great. I really thought it was great. I thought the format was really cool and innovative in a very different way. And, very apropos of the time, but also, I think these are things that most of us would normally go and get on a plane and head out of town somewhere. And to be able to do this from our own, from our work from home space where I am today, and feel like I was still at a special event, I thought was really cool.
Yeah. The whole format, the way it was set up with the whole virtual rooms and the breakout sessions, it wasn't your typical Zoom event like we were talking about earlier. So I love it. So, all right, I'm going to ask you the same questions. You ready?
I am. Yep. Yep.
So what were your 3 to 5 takeaways of the event today?
So I think I had a couple of big takeaways. The first one is just the innovation in our industry. Like I said, I've been away from the builder channel for a while, and to come back and see all the innovation, I think is really cool. And the way that builders and people in our industry are thinking about things, from single family rentals to new distribution methods, I thought were really, pretty cool and inspiring to see. The other thing was, when you think about this COVID-19 and the situation that we're in right now, I don't think, like I said, there's no manual for it, and none of us are really able to figure this out. And I love just seeing the way that our builders are really reacting really quickly and in a faster environment now to, appeal to their homeowners and the tools that they're implementing right now to be in front of their customers and their potential clients. And so for those things, I think were probably the biggest takeaways for me, and just how GE Appliances and a lot of the things that we think about and the areas that we are now starting to participate and thinking about our business model in a much different way. We've served the builder community for over 60 years, and just evolving that in a way, as a meaningful way, is really great to see that we have value to bring to our builder customers, but also that's the way that they're thinking as well.
Yeah, I mean, you guys have been around forever. You've been a part of the building community forever. And the fact that you guys are taking part in these events it's absolutely huge. Your experience, your knowledge, everything that you bring to the table is very welcomed. And I'm sure everybody else felt that way as well today. So thank you for that. All right.
Great to be a part of it.
Number 2. What are your favorite moments of the day?
I think our last speaker just said the same thing, which was kind of mine as well, which is the optimism of the industry, and that we will recover from this, and that we have means and methods to get through this and really be the leader, I think, and in the way that we as an industry come out of this and really help our total economy. I think was kind of my favorite moment, I think, from the day, of just kind of feeling that energy and that vibe and that buzz of the participants who participated today.
Perfect. And Dan, all right, here's the last question. What is one takeaway from today's event that you can implement tomorrow?
Yeah, so I've spent a lot of time in my career in the past several years on the retail side of our business, and obviously the way that retailers are trying to grab consumers with innovation, with digital side of their business and web presence, has been something that we have focused on a lot at GE Appliances. And just knowing that want, desire, and need is out there for our builders, and how do we implement the tools that we have to not make them just retail focused tools, but more importantly, builder channel tools to help our customers sell more homes, build better apartments, and use the virtual tools that we have preparing and available to really go out there and help our industry. So that I think is a big takeaway for me, and we'll continue to focus and drive and push forward.
Love it. I love it. So would you come back?
Absolutely. And like I said, this is I probably would have been there in person if this was here, but having it as a digital was really great, and it was a cool event to be a part of. So I would definitely come back.
Love it. Well, thanks so much. I really appreciate you hopping on the show. It's been a long day of meetings already and events, but this is just such a great way to wrap it up and kind of let the community out there know, what you guys did today, and bring a little bit of knowledge to the rest of the world. I love it. Thank you so much.
Thank you.
Stick around, and Breck, stick around. We'll wrap this up at the end. I'll bring all you back in and thank you, and we'll have some fun. So let's see if we can pull Elena back out here and have her join the show. You with us?
I hope so.
Awesome. I just did this whole 20-minute elaborate introduction for you, and you disappeared. No, I'm just kidding.
I know, right? I just was out of there.
So Elena Moni Garmin, right? Founder and CEO of Garmin Homes, Fresh Paint by Garmin. Listen, yep. Your title kind of says it all, but tell us a little bit about who you are and what you do.
Okay, so I started on site working for 2 large national builders, and when Jim was starting Garmin Homes, I called him up, said, I want to start your sales team, and from there I said, I want to build a house, I want to run this company someday, and I ended up doing that, and now I'm an owner.
Like that.
Just like that, and lots of sleepless nights, blood, sweat, and tears, all the usual pathways to success that don't look like success. They
Yeah,
look
sure.
like they look like staying up at night and figuring it out.
Well, I mean, that's kind of the path to success is the Burma Road, right? Nothing's a straight line.
Yeah, exactly. So
Right.
it's what happens when you open a company up in '07.
Yeah, right.
Perfect
Brilliant.
timing,
Yeah. Who would have known, right? Hey,
right?
you went through one of the worst ones, and here we are talking. So,
Yeah.
kudos to you. That's awesome. And what
Yeah.
about which Fresh Paint by Garmin Homes?
So Fresh Paint is a brand that we developed a number of years ago. It's a millennial focused brand. It's simplifying the entire home building process for a buyer to make less decisions and to leverage that towards a streamlined experience and a smoother process and a smaller price. It's actually more attainable, more affordable. I hesitate to use the word affordable because that's a metric, but it's a great experience for purchasing a home, and you make a fraction of the number of decisions. So we do that with curated whole home design packages, kind of what Breck was mentioning about streamlining that process, offering options that are simplified for the buyer. So we have full design selections at time of contract.
Right. Really cool.
Yeah.
Well,
Yeah.
thank you. So let's get into it. Staycation,
Okay.
the event. Tell us a little bit about what your thoughts were.
I feel like Housing Innovation Alliance just raised the bar.
Yeah.
When I logged into that, to the virtual kind of area, I was so impressed. It felt like it took us somewhere new. The toolbars and the website was so easily identifiable, and it kind of mimicked my favorite parts of going to a conference and seeing people in person and just being able to kind of look around, find out who's there. I loved having everyone's LinkedIn information ahead of time so I could stalk some people from the privacy of my computer.
Right.
But yeah, no, I thought it was amazing.
Yeah, it really was. It was definitely a step up from anything that I've been a part of as well. So, well, let's hop into the first question.
Okay.
You've already touched on some of these things, but let's get into it deeper. What are your top 3 to 5 takeaways of the event today?
So my top takeaway was from Terry and John's session early on, which was leveraging technology, not just for technology's sake, because right now we're removed from people. So what that requires is a greater amount of humanity. And so if we're not using technology to bring us closer to someone and to make a connection with them more inevitable, then I think that's a gross misuse of technology. So I loved that. That was my big takeaway was, how do I make sure that the people that come across our brand and everyone who works for us knows exactly where our hearts and minds are during this pandemic.
Yeah.
So that was a big takeaway. Margaret Whalen, every time she talks, I like lean in.
Well, you should, there's a lot of knowledge there.
I know. I love everything she says always. I'm a total fangirl for Margaret. But I think she always asks the question about the question that I can't articulate, but I want to know. It's like, how are we gonna make this the best possible outcome? What are the things we can do now, and how should we be thinking and reframing what's in front of us to the benefit of our company in the long run? So that was a big takeaway for me. And gosh, I'm trying to think of another one. I'm kind of full up of information right now. One of my other takeaways was when I was put into the industrialized construction room. That's not my room, but that was fine.
I know, but that's you need.
My takeaway was I don't think I belong in this room.
Well, the thing is, with when we do these round tables and discussion rooms and all of that, it's to have a fresh mind.
Yeah.
And that's the whole idea, right? So
yeah,
I bet you did very well.
Not really, but thank you.
Yeah. So let's go on. Question number 2. What was your favorite moments of the day?
My favorite moment of the day happened just now on your live broadcast.
What was that?
It was when Breck said his favorite moment of the day was Rebecca, who's our division president, and what she said. So that was my favorite moment was Breck.
Well, there you go, Breck. You have something in common with Breck already. He said he wrote a book today with all the stuff he had to keep track of, all the knowledge. So
Yeah.
You're just full of information. Your head's still reeling from it. So
Yeah.
I'm glad to hear that. Yep. She did a great job. Great job. And the moderators did a great job too. I'm not saying who. So yeah, everybody did a great job.
Yeah.
All right. You know what else? I think I actually got her on live stream during her presentation for a quick shout today. I popped in at one point just to give the rest of the world who did not sign up to attend an opportunity to see what they were missing. And I actually believe that we got that. Yeah.
That's awesome.
I'm getting the thumbs up from behind the computer over there. We got it.
Now it's my second favorite moment of the day. Just now.
All right. Well, love it. Love it. Well deserved.
Yeah. Thank you.
Okay. What's one takeaway from the event that you can implement now? All right. It says tomorrow, but I say now because why wait till tomorrow? Makes no sense, right? You can get it done now.
Yeah, no, it's a great question. I think back to John and Terry about throwing away the reg cards. We did that years ago, and I couldn't agree more about, really reaching out and connecting with our buyers. We've been, I'm sort of energized to double down with what we've been doing during this time. We're still building, we're still selling, we're still closing, but there's still a lot that we can do to connect with our homeowners who are living in our houses right now and find out what the next best trend is. I think I'm going to double down on reaching out to our homeowners, people who own our homes, by plan, to understand how those plans are meeting their needs or not, and what they would, if they knew what they knew now about how much time they'd be quarantining in their house, what feature would they add? What is something that they wish the plan did that it doesn't, and how does that inform our decisions going forward on the best plans to create for people now that home means a lot more to us? It's where we spend all of our time now.
For sure. Just so you know, Breck wrote in the comments, woo.
Did he?
We're going to bring you back in here in a minute. But I will agree with you, Elena, that, it's so simple. It's brilliant, right? Why aren't we talking to the homeowners, especially now that they're spending so much time, in their house with their families? You're really, really starting to feel how much you love it or don't like it, or things you do like or don't like.
Yes.
Sure.
Yes. And how we can do better going forward.
Absolutely. Absolutely. All right. Well, let me bring Breck and Dan back in. Hey, guys and girls.
I thought you were going to add a little bit more enthusiasm to my my comment. Woo.
Me or Elena?
I should have done the little party emoji.
Well,
you need a woohoo.
I got all these moving parts here. Woohoo! I think is what it was supposed to be. Well, listen, I really, really appreciate you, all of you, taking the time to come on live, LinkedIn Live. It's also live on YouTube at the same time right now. And there'll be a recording of this, so you can get it right on YouTube right after this if you wanted to. But all the insightfulness, everything that the three of you have done today to make this event such a success. I know the Housing Innovation Alliance is just thrilled to death. I think everybody outside of just you three are feeling the same way about how the event was, because like we were saying, it wasn't a typical Zoom call. This was just cool.
It was so cool.
It really was. You can go into virtual rooms and chats, and it was like networking. It was constant shoulder bumping or elbow bumping. No real handshakes like Breck wants. But we're gonna get back to that, Breck. We promise. So, listen, you guys. I really appreciate you taking the time. Thanks so much.
Thanks for having us.
Yeah. Well, so, and the best part about doing these live streams, and when I'm doing it actually live in person, because I do this at the shows as well and in the events, is everybody's names up there. So it makes it really easy for me to remember who I'm talking to and get it all right. So listen, Elena, Breck, Dan, thank you so much. You guys have a great rest of your day. And I'm sure our paths will cross soon.
You too, Dave. Thank you.
Thank you.
Bye, everybody.
Take care.
Bye.
Bye.